everybody. It's Monday night. I'm Sirken. I am the very, very well known and arguably the friendliest person on the Project 1999 staff. I am known across all the lands, arguably, as being the friendliest person on the P99 server, players included. And so being as friendly as I am, I would like to thank all of you for joining this evening. Some of you have been waiting quite a long time, and I do apologize for that. We had some difficulties with the situation in Ireland, and then we had some difficulties with Braknar trying to have a real life and things that he has to deal with in said real life. And I reprimanded him for that thoroughly, I assure all of you, but do feel free to just give him grief for the next 2 hours. That said, we're joined tonight by some wonderful people. We have the just recently mentioned Braknar. Why don't you say hello to these fine people, Braknar? Tell them who you are in case they've never been here before and have no idea what in the hell Braknar is.
All right, yeah, hi. I'm Braknar. I'm one of the staff members here on P99. Still currently the newest, even though I've been here now about 6 months. Before that, I'd just been doing a lot of... I'd volunteered a bunch of other MMOs. This kind of drew me to P99. Been playing P99 off and on for about 3 years. Went to become staff, and now I'm a bitter husk of a human being like Sirken.
Just wait till April. Wait till we talk on your 1 year thing. I'm just saying, October's 4 years for me. So how you feel in April, I want you to multiply that by 4, and you'll have some vague concept of where I'm at. Just so you know.
Awesome.
Yeah. We also have 2 wonderful people from the guild Europa, and I'm just gonna say, we've been trying to get Europa on this stream for a long, long time, and it has been extremely hard to do. So I'm very, very, very happy to have the both of you here. I'm going to butcher your name, but we're just going to do it like a Band-Aid. Orlaith? How do I say it?
Orla.
Orla?
It's Irish. Don't ask questions.
Okay, because I was just going to say, here in this country, that is not how we would spell that.
I know.
Not even. You have all these extra letters that I feel really aren't even doing anything. Just hanging out.
It's not even the worst one.
Like, I'm not kidding. Like, half of that is silent letters. I feel that's a complete waste of alphabet. You're just throwing letters in there just to do it.
You should hear it spoken. It's not an attractive language. But no, I'm Orla Clutterbuck. I am an officer of Europa. I focus mostly on recruitment, and as you might be able to tell, I am not actually Irish. The best representation of Europa is a couple of Americans, apparently.
We did very well tonight. Very well.
But I do live in Ireland currently, so it is very late right now.
So you get partial credit. I'll give you half credit for that.
All right.
I mean, you're in Ireland. That makes you more Irish than any of us.
I think I've been dubbed honorary European by the guild. So.
Yeah, no, we'll allow it. We will acknowledge you as European.
Excellent.
Yep. And we also have Enviee. Is that your main, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Say hello. Tell these people who you are.
Hey, I'm Enviee. I'm a member of Europa and the current warrior class leader. And that's about it. I'm pretty boring.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about Europa. How long have you guys been in Europa?
I've been just about a year now, and Enviee was in it before I was.
Yeah, by a few months, so.
I think we both started in Knights Who Say Knee, so.
That is correct.
Did you guys know each other in Knights Who Say Knee? Did you join Europa together?
No.
No, she actually started her application to Europa right as I started playing. And
That's true, yeah.
she convinced me to join the server because we used to play together. We've known each other since we were 7 years old, so it was a way to connect over oceans.
I see. So, I have to ask, why are you two in Europa, being
Well,
non-Europeans?
I joined Europa because I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I send the kids off to school and then I can play without neglecting the children, which I think is good. That's a good thing. So Europa raids at 11 o'clock my time, and that works out really super great. Good. So
I
like it.
joined Europa because being in Europe, I didn't really fancy raiding at 2 a.m. So it
All
made
right.
sense.
All right,
basically.
for you it makes much more sense. And did you join because she joined? Is like you guys are like we're just going to the same guild again?
Yeah.
Did you even consider other guilds, or you're just like fuck it? I got the family thing. I got the friend. I'm going Europa.
well, I went Europa before she started playing, so
Oh shit.
I had reasons, and then I convinced her to join, but I don't think it was a very hard sell since she lives in Ireland. So
Right. Well, how's Europa? How do you like Europa?
It's good. It's good. It's
Do you have a
It's a
guild
huge-
website? Do you have a place Europeans can go if they're like, I'm European, but I don't want to play by myself. I wish there was a European guild that I could join.
We do have a website. It is www.lucklin.de.
Well, that's not classic.
No.
Why on earth is it Lucklin anything?
I have no idea.
You need to put me in touch with whoever set that up, because
We need to fix that right now.
yeah, that's unacceptable. It should be Velius dot blah 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 blah. Velius dot Europa dot fucking P99guild.com. That should be your new website. People should go there.
I think I mentioned on previous streams that Lucklin was my most hated expansion because I played a wizard, and that like made my class a lot less significant.
Yeah, it added a bus system.
I know, right?
It's
Yeah, I mained a druid, so I feel you.
See?
Yeah.
Sorry.
We have to get that changed. No,
It made the world smaller. That was the problem. Like, I didn't play a porting class. I played a mage up until Lucklin, and then I re-rolled as a necro because I didn't want to do Lucklin. And it made the world start feeling smaller. It's the same thing Maps did. It took that stupid, like, people hate running around, and when I know, like, I have to run across West Corona, as a player, that would make me want to tear the eyes out of my face. And so I get like the horrible shit, but it's running from place to place and like stumbling upon random people and random things that turn into random adventures that kind of made EQ great. It's not just going from point A to point B and then to point C and then get 10 things and give it to the guy at point D, get your quest reward, and do it again. Like, it's not a good selling point on paper, but it's supposed to be a pain in the ass. Because, I don't know, there's just more possibility when you're running around, more adventure when you don't know what's out there or what you're going to find. And
The Karanas are still some of my favorite zones.
mine too.
They felt so big
you're
when
both
you were
dumb as
first
shit.
starting.
Hey.
West Corona is the biggest waste of space that has
Oh, I
ever
don't like
been
West
on
Corona.
anybody's computer in the history of the world.
Yeah, there's no reason to go to West Corona.
I'm just
South
saying.
Corona is where it's at.
South Corona's alright because there's
Yeah.
things. You got the Centaurs, you got the Aviax, you got the Pegasus, you got the Hermit. There's things that are interesting in South Corona, but North Corona's garbage and East Corona's garbage and West Corona is some kind of punishment. So that's things. I don't know how we got on. Oh, I do know actually. Your guild website. I'm hoping
Yes.
it got linked somewhere in chat. lucklin.de/forum. Thank you, Swish2. And you go there if you're a European, or apparently you don't even have to be a European. You can just if you're someone who plays during Euro hours and you like accents, go join Europa. And if you are European, then everyone talks like you, and you should go join Europa.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good group of Americans actually, and they tend to be like the late night crew for us, but people who
Are there
can
any
write,
actual
right?
Europeans in your guild?
There are actually, yeah.
Because I feel like at this point it's a legitimate question that I need to ask.
I
No,
don't, there's like 6 Americans, and I don't know why we're only talking about them and to them.
Because America.
America.
Right, of course. Sorry, excuse me.
Alright, did you guys start on P99 at the same time?
No.
No.
She started before I did.
Yeah.
It took some convincing to get me to actually download the shit and start her up. So
The shit.
the shit.
Alright. First of all, why did it take so much convincing and arm twisting? What was the holdup for joining?
I don't know really. It was very.
Was it just like EverQuest in general? Was it because it was an emulator where you like, I don't want to play on some private server where some fucking garage nerds are just gonna give their friends things, and then this fucking dog's gonna trip over the cord and I won't be able to play for 2 days because the nerd's gonna be working at some stupid thing. Like,
It was partially. I mean, and this happened earlier. It was partially my internet connection is complete shite.
it is shite.
It is complete shite. So, and it was, I didn't know if it was going to scratch the nostalgia itch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't want to get into it and find that it was too much like live. Because live is, I'm sure, lovely if you're into that kind of thing, but it's not really my cup of tea. I think Velius was probably my favorite expansion of all the ones I played, so I'm excited right now.
Agreed. Velius was my favorite by far. I was already 60 when Velius came out, so I don't know like any of the smaller zones that I know some people really like Crystal Caverns, but I've never stepped foot in that zone, so I have nothing. But it added so much shit other than there was lots of raid stuff, but there was also other stuff to do, and it made me very excited. I enjoyed doing all the stupid quests. I enjoyed working through the shawl stuff, and I enjoyed getting my baking up for part of it, which is going to stick with me for the rest of my life. And I was proud of myself when I knew where all the little people lived in Thurgadin.
Mm.
I like Thurgadin. I hang out there a lot. My dog's barking like an asshole. I have my door closed, but it doesn't matter. He just barks. He just barks anyway.
I actually came home today and my wife got our dog a bark collar. Because, like, I think my dog is probably about 5 times as loud as that one. She's absurdly loud. And she gets really excited about, anything. And will bark and bark and bark.
I'm just going to tell you right now, I will put my dog up against your dog in a barking contest. On pure decibel levels, I guarantee you my dog will win. My dog is behind multiple closed doors and rooms away from me. He's big and he's retarded, and all he does is make noise and knock things over.
Awesome.
He thinks he's a little dog, but he's not. He's not. And look, guys, I know people who play video games, you're not into sports. So I'm just going to do this real quick, and then we won't do it again. But
I know what you're going to do.
Football season started, and Olaris asked a question. I didn't bring it up. He brought it up. And so we're just going to have to do a quick sports segment. Guys, my Bears are dead. My Bears are dead this season. Don't try and troll me about the Bears. I've already accepted the fate. I understand. Luckily, I play fantasy football, so I have my own team to worry about. And my own team is doing wonderful because you know why? I'll tell you why. I scooped up Tom Brady and Gronkowski because I know that when you accuse the Patriots of cheating for 6 months, they come out and slam dunk all over your face. And so we're going to ride that train for a few weeks, and maybe we'll trade him before the season's over, but we're doing real good. I'm up by probably 1 billion points right now, And unless Matt Ryan and Julio Jones break all kinds of records, not even football records, but actual like human being records tonight, I don't think I can lose. And so 1-0, moving on to next week on the quest to go back to back and bring home the $1,000 first prize and the trophies and all the glory that comes with winning. And that's it. Oh shit, we got score update. Eagles 42, Falcons 23. That is sexy. I would like to know if the Eagles defense has done anything spectacular, because I'm pretty sure I'm rolling with them tonight as well. And yeah, now that's it. No more sports, because I know people don't give any shits about sports. But oh god, guys, if I go back to back, I'm going to be so excited. You have no idea. You're going to have to deal with that for months. Oh my god. I go off on these tangents. I don't even know where we started from. I have no idea where we started from. Something about why it took you longer to get on P99, but I don't even know if you gave me a legit answer other than saying EQ just wasn't the game for you, which
That's not what she said.
Well, I would apparently
Live
not.
became something that wasn't what I wanted to play.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, how did they finally get you to bite the buckle and come to P99 then?
It was a human connection thing. I've been here nearly 3 years, and I don't know if anybody has experienced culture shock, but it is fucked up. So it was a way to connect with Enviee and a few other people that I knew back home and really missed a lot.
Oh.
So, it helped keep me sane in the end, basically.
Well, that's good. And how long ago was this?
Yeah, about a year. About a year now.
And Enviee, how long ago did you start playing?
Let's see, in February, I guess, of last year. So,
Okay.
a year and a half or so.
How did you find P. Daddy Died?
Actually, I have another friend who we used to play with on Live and was our roommate way back, and he kept coming over and saying, like, so when are you going to start playing? And I was also really hesitant because it's just a huge time sink.
I don't think anybody's not going to deny that.
No. So, and I kind of, in between when I used to play and when I play now, I kind of grew up and got a real life and wasn't sure that it would fit. But I started playing and kind of just forced it in there. So, it works.
Most lives problems are solved. You just force it in there.
Yeah, it's real pretty.
Good job.
I know, right? It was too easy. Come on.
All right. I'll allow it. I mean, oh my god, how do I say this? All right, so pretend I'm in Europa, right? What should I expect? What's the day-to-day like in Europa? Do you do raids? Do you just do like XP groups? Does everyone have epics? Does everyone have best in slot? Has anyone started working on VP keys? Is VP in the cards for Europa? Give me the lowdown.
I think we've got a couple of VP keys in the guild. We are probably fairly unique on the server because we are quite casual scum, but we do raid. We raid twice a week on a regular schedule, and we do FFA targets with Gimpatron. So we are downing some things, but the only requirement to join Europa is you have to have a minimal level of English, and you have to be 35, and that's it.
So wait, I don't even need to speak. Oh wait.
Wow, you have to be 35? Like, I literally could just join this year if I...
Good job.
That's awesome.
You made it.
I made it.
How's your English? Is it all right?
Oh, I grew up in the South. It's non-existent.
Wait,
Well.
time out. How is English? Like I get that Britain and places speak English, but isn't there lots of European countries that aren't speaking English as first language? Am I completely wrong in thinking that like French people speak French and Italians speak Italian and
no, the French people definitely speak French
Yeah.
and not much else.
Oh, that's unfair. Well, but they're playing EverQuest, which is an English-based game. So, like,
I suppose. I just think it's funny.
To like most of the American guilds that I'm aware of, the way we use TeamSpeak is completely different. It's not a place where people just hang out all day. We basically only use it on raids, and it's not mandatory because there are plenty of people in the guild who are comfortable reading and typing in English, but who don't feel comfortable in a speaking setting. So it's not a requirement at all. We are totally cool with you coming to a raid and not being in TeamSpeak. All we ask is that you follow directions, basically. There are so many different cultures involved in this group that it would be almost impossible to force something like that, and we wouldn't want to. Like, it is very much a family guild.
That's the official word, but I constantly harass people to get into TeamSpeak right now.
Well, we have a lot of fun in TeamSpeak, I think is what it is. But every time we get a new person in for the first time, it's very exciting.
All right, so I have a question then about that. If that's a thing, like at some point you're doing your recruiting, you're getting players from 35 and up, whatever, they join, they turn out to be very good, very active players, and they eventually are going to get to a point where either they need to go to a different guild or they need to settle for what you guys are doing because there's no like better way to say this, but if you don't have mandatory TeamSpeak, you're never gonna like outrace a guild who has their entire raid force in a voice chat. And
no, we're well aware of that. And we're not looking to win all of the time. It's nice when we do, and we do try because that's half the fun of the raid scene is the foot race.
For sure.
But we use bat phones, but again, it's not mandatory to sign up for the bat phone because we have a pretty solid core of people who have no interest in the FTE raiding scene as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really interesting kind of thing to manage. You have all these different groups, and trying to please everybody can be a handful.
You guys need like a SEAL Team 6. I'm not even kidding. Like, you need something, because what's going to happen is you're just going to end up losing all your best members.
Well, that happens sometimes.
But not if they could go to SEAL Team
waves.
6.
But generally, the raiding force we have is content with what we're doing, and we are pushing ourselves constantly. Like, we're trying new things, we're doing new strategies, we're seeing if we can take this mob or that, and it's all about learning right now.
That is true.
Just seeing what we can do.
Yeah, every guild has to go through growing and learning pains, and even the guilds doing the stuff on Velius right now, like, the guilds who are successful right now are generally the guilds who spent time on the beta server, and you can bet your ass that they got beat down the first few times they did things on beta. And I know there are guilds that are still wiping the content even as early as this morning, like 6 or 7 o'clock Eastern this morning. That big stupid red dragon ARNR or whatever was fighting some players, and the players started dropping, and I'm watching him die, and I'm watching his health like tick so slowly. It's like 2%, but 2% is like 12,000 hit points. And finally it came down to just their last player, and the dragon's at 0%. And I'm like, oh my god, he's going to feel so good if he gets it.
Oh.
But he did not, in fact, get it. The dragon won. And yeah. And I mean, it makes me feel good when I see players wipe to mobs, because not because I like watching players die. I realize how that sounds, but more because it means that there's still some challenge involved. Like, you don't just show up and hit the button and collect your loot and then go on to the next one. And so I like that. I like seeing that players can still wipe, I guess. That's what it is. I like knowing they can wipe, as opposed to, like, I like seeing it happen. Because I like seeing it happen sounds horrible. But it's good that it can happen. That's all. That is all. Alright, this is for all three of you. And we're going to start with Braknar, because I haven't heard enough of his voice in my ear hole. Braknar, P99 has been around for a long, long time. This October will be 6 years. And I would like to ask you, in your opinion, what do you think is the draw of P99? The thing that still brings in new players 6 years after launch, and the thing that keeps our players here, and basically, why do we have like 1,400 people, individual concurrent people, logging in every single night?
Keeping true to the to like the, you know, shit's classic, bro. I mean, like you and I both know more than, you know, most people. Like Nilbog is like he's like, that's his alternate name. It's just classic, bro. Like, he is awesome about just sticking to his guns about the classic style, which I think is commendable. And you know, that's it. Like, people come for the nostalgia and then they stay for the community. I think that's a good way to frame it.
I think you might be right. What about you, Orlaith? Look, that's about 60% effort. That's all you're getting.
You added too many consonants.
Sorry, go ahead, O.
Oh, there you go. Braknar took mine. So
Sorry.
A+.
Can I just mention, since Classic came up, one of the things that we discussed when I told the guild I was doing this, servers used to go down in European prime time for patching. Just want to put that one out there. That shit is classic.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that falls under the us being unpaid volunteers doing this in our spare time clause. And sadly, our spare time is very rarely at like 3 to 5 in the morning.
Just once
But
in a while.
it could be.
It is sometimes. Like, I know there are times where there's a problem and Rogan will be working on it and he'll be working all fucking night, and then finally at 5:30 he's done and he's, you know, has to patch it, so he brings the server down, and then all of Europe rejoices in excitement. But I mean, usually it's like free time on the weekends, free time when you get home from work before you get too tired. And so that's usually why it is when it is. Also, the server needs to be restarted every 40 days.
That reminds me. How many days are we at right now?
I don't know, but nothing's bugging out yet, so
yeah.
Don't worry, we'll hear about it. Because right around day 42, right around day 42, corpses will start disappearing. And zones won't be accessible.
Yes, and he's not kidding. Like, this literally happened the
last
time.
It gets really, really bad. And then Rogan will come back and be like, yep, it's been 42 or 43 days, whatever it's been. And the server will come down.
God, yeah, I summoned like 60 corpses that day. I can't, it was ridiculous. It was crazy.
Yeah,
I do think most people tend to come because they are looking for the nostalgia hit, and then they do end up staying because of the community. Because as much as it is like it was in Classic, the server has its own kind of dynamic community that is nothing like you would have seen. Like, so we played on Tarumar, and there was one raiding guild, you know, so just the interaction of all of the higher guilds is really quite interesting as well.
Right.
I like
In Light and Dark. That was the guild, In Light and Dark.
Was it?
Yep.
Good memory.
Oh. Alright, I'm looking to see if I have actual legitimate questions that don't involve bloomin' onions or flat lords.
You know, what is the story behind the Bloomin' Onion thing?
Oh man.
Or is
That
that
is
is
such
that
a
for
good
another?
question.
It's just a thing. You can thank Red Server.
Ah,
Look, back on VZTZ, people actually used to get items and shit with food, and they would order pizzas for each other, and it was just a thing. And then the red people kept making things and jokes about real pizza trading, and then one of them just replaced pizza with bloomin' onions, and then RBOT became a thing, and now everyone's like, bloomin' onions, bro. And it's just a thing that's been around for years.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't even like bloomin' onions. I wouldn't even eat a bloomin' onion.
They're good after like 3 bites,
No,
and then after
they're
that
not.
you're just like, I feel awful.
They're gross. I wouldn't eat them. Rogan ordered one, put it right in front of me, and I was like, no.
Are you saying you got something in exchange for this onion?
No, I got nothing for it, and I didn't even partake. I can honestly
That
say,
sounds guilty.
no.
I've heard this story before, Sirken.
At no time have you heard a story about me eating a bloomin' onion. Olaris wants to know if we have down low on patch notes. If you have specific questions, I can try, but I'm not just gonna like read the patch notes to you. Czar, I don't think Platlord would afford me, or maybe I think he probably could, but I don't think he would. I'm very expensive. Can you ask Rogan if earthquakes will ever happen again? You know what? That is a good point. It has been a minute since we had earthquakes.
How about European time for some of that?
See, that's the
She's
kind
got a
of...
point.
Listen, here's what I'm going to do. The next time it's like 5 o'clock in the morning and I just get done playing Rust and I see Rogan is playing Counter-Strike, I'm going to send him a message and be like, all of Europe wants you to do an earthquake right now.
We're due some favoritism, I think. I don't think we've ever had any.
I mean, I feel you've gotten just as much as anyone else. So, it's just, you guys are just unlucky because we don't, like, the people who run it are just not Euro hour based. So when they do things, it's not Euro hours. Like, we try, we want to. In a perfect world, we would definitely do things in Euro hours too. But in real life, it's just like, I'm just going to do it now because I have time.
Yeah.
And so that's just the thing. This guy has a long question. I don't know if it's good or not, so I'm just going to read it and then we'll see. How far would you compare your progress to the Star Wars Galaxy Emu in relation to having a product that is the same as the live versions of the game? Well, I have never played Star Wars Galaxies, nor have I played the Star Wars Galaxy Emu, so I really can't compare it to shit in that regard.
I answered him.
Oh, did you? Well, say your answer on words, because I'm not going to read it and I'd like to know.
Yeah, my answer was just that I'd say we do 1999 era EverQuest better than anyone, really. I mean, and I thought that even as a player, just because Daybreak has tried and they don't really have an interest in doing it. You know, that's not what they do. They're not trying to do that. Nobody else is really trying to do a full 1999 era experience like we are.
Yeah, we do Classic better than anyone else on the internet.
There you go.
That's a true statement. It's been true for a while, but I don't think everyone actually realizes it yet. It's actually kind of amazing how well we do Classic, all things considered.
Oh, yeah.
But that's all I'm going to say about it, or else I'm going to start digging myself in a hole. And I'm going to get yelled at tomorrow. Or probably not tomorrow, probably Wednesday, because this might not be up till Wednesday. But either way, that's fine. Alright, Europa, which guild do you hate the most on P99?
Hey.
I'm joking. You don't actually have to answer that.
Good, because we love everyone.
I'm sure.
You could have just picked...
polite, get along with fucking everyone guild.
You could have
Well,
just picked a random red guild and said it, and we would have thought that was a great answer.
We don't play on red. I don't play on red. Do you play on red?
Does Holocaust still exist?
Funny you
That's
ask.
as much as I know about Red.
they are now called Empire, but yes.
Okay. Them jerks, hate them.
So did you try playing on Red? Is that what you just said?
I tried for like a week. It was more the appeal of less people everywhere. So I made a druid and I ran around, and it was awful because solo druids are awful. There's a reason I rolled a rogue when I came to 99.
Oh, but I miss your druid.
I was a terrible druid.
I'm not saying that you weren't, but
I was a bad druid, and I don't know how you do a druid bad because they are piss easy.
wow.
You got a couple good questions there, Sirken.
I never played a druid. All right, back to question land. I see two.
I know those are the
I
two.
see TAC TV being like, how much is Discord server going to be policed? Any PMP enforced at all, or totally no rules madness? I don't think anything is completely set in stone, but I think we're leaning towards a mostly just do whatever the fuck you want. Like, no hacking, obviously, no third-party programs, no RMT, no shit like that. But I don't remember where we landed on things like training and bind camping. Maybe you do, Braknar?
You pretty much hit the nail on the head. I don't remember where we landed. We've been having discussions about it internally, and I don't think anyone's come out with a solid push either way. But yeah, we're swaying towards not too much. But do keep in mind, anybody out there that if you do hack and you do things that we still don't like on that server, the account will be banned, and the account being banned means you're banned from all of our servers. So don't think if you're gonna speed hack, I'll just do it on Discord, no one's gonna know or care. That may not be the case.
Yeah, that is a super point. All of our stuff is connected, so if you get banned on your account, you're banned on everything. All the servers, our servers. Don't be stupid. And then, so yeah, good question, TAC. Sorry, we don't have more information, but literally, it doesn't exist yet. Olaris wants to know, is the PMP still being enforced? Had a lot of questionable raid interactions the last couple weeks since Veli's came out. Olaris, I'm assuming you mean on blue. If you're talking about raid disputes, guild leaders work those out. Very rarely does it come to me. I have a Skype group set up with various guild leaders in it, and when they talk to each other, I try to make them do it in front of me. There's a Skype group with BDA, Taken, Forsaken, and Rampage, and myself, and they don't use it as much as they should. We still have the old Class C group, which is just Forsaken and Rampage. When there is a dispute, and trust me, there is many a dispute, they work it out right then and there. And if they can't, then I will step in. But usually someone will be like, you trained us, you assholes. And other people will be like, no. And then someone else will be like, here's the fraps. And then they'll look at it. And then they'll be like, okay, we concede whatever. And if they don't concede whatever and it comes to me and I say they're in the wrong, then I make them give up the next two mobs. So it's better for them to work it out themselves. There's incentive there, and I think that's a very, very good idea.
Do you have a Europa representative in any of that? Because we don't have a
funny
guild
story.
leader.
I didn't even have a hot button to join Europa as a guild until like 2 days ago.
Well, we are pretty, keep our head down.
It dawned on me, I don't think I've ever had to pop into Europa and be like, gee, I'm Sirken here. Is there any leadership type people on? And usually when I do that, somebody's in trouble. Not all the time, but I'd say like 81% of the time, someone's in trouble if I'm in your guild. And I just never had to. And then I never have really had a guild dispute with Europa. And the reason these groups exist is out of necessity. Like, I didn't preemptively put everyone together. I had lots and lots of issues before Velius. I had lots and lots of issues with TMO and IB, and so it got to the point where I told them when they talk to each other, they need to do it in front of me, so that I know who's telling the truth about what was said. And then it kind of just snowballed when TMO died and Detox started Forsaken, and when IB died and Hoku started up Rampage, and 18 too, I guess, merged in with them. They wanted to keep the same process of having that Skype group, but just not deal with it the way TMO and IB dealt with it. And so they've been getting along much better since they became Rampage and Forsaken. But that's why that group exists. And then shortly after Velius launched, there was an issue with 4 guilds in TOV. And so I had to pull all 4 of the guild leaders into a call, and we had to work some stuff out on the spot. And so that's why that group exists. But
I'm wondering who you even get, because we are a full officer council. We have no actual leader. So.
I just need someone who can speak for the guild. And if you guys, if you don't have someone who can just make decisions for the guild, then there's absolutely no point of you being involved in any kind of group discussion. Because
something like that, we would appoint someone who can just do, because
well, because some guilds are like, I won't name their names, but there have been guilds who have been like, well, maybe I have to go back to my council and see how we decide about it. And it's like, we're not doing that at all. No. Like, we're leaving here today with a decision, and all of your guilds are in the same boat. If I give you time, then these people want time, and those people want time, and then people are like, well, I like most of it, but this part... No, fuck all of that. Either yes or no.
And then the rotation falls, so...
Well, the rotation fell because it was stupid. The whole class system was being abused. And maybe staff's partly to blame for that. Maybe the players themselves are to blame for that. I don't know. But I will say it was absolutely being abused, because it got to the point where guilds could be like, look, it's either this way or we smash your faces forever. And guilds shouldn't be able to do that in R. If you're able to literally smash every other guild, like, combined, then maybe you shouldn't be a Class R guild. And so I think getting rid of the class system was one of the greatest things Rogan could have done. Because
I think for us, it's been both good and bad. Like, we have gotten a lot more targets than we would have otherwise, I will say that. But certain things are so highly contested, like Sev for scales would be probably the ultimate example, that we are still kind of hurting there. So, but overall, I would say it's been probably good.
Well, I know those green scales are a bitch, and so I'm sorry about that. But here's my logic. Here's why I think it's a good idea. When you have things that are like, if you raid this, you become Class C, kind of like how VP was in Kunark. Guilds like BDA and Taken, who are like, well, maybe we could do it, but if we did, we'd have to play with people we don't like, we'd be at the bottom of the food chain, it's just better here. And so they don't go to VP, and they don't go to the top zones, and they don't compete with, they go to the top zones, but they don't go after the Class C targets. And so you're forced to compete with them in those places. And if without a class system, now they do move into VP, and every minute they're killing something in VP, that's minutes they're not killing a Sev, minutes they're not killing a Trachanon, fucking CT. And so then these other guilds and the alliances you called Gimpatron, I did air quotes, you can't see it, but they were there. Like, it gives you guys all those minutes to do things that normally the bigger R guilds would have been doing. And so even now, like, if we had a class system, maybe VP would not be part of Class C anymore, but TOV would be. And I know BDA and Taken are both spending time in TOV. So, at a bare minimum, it gets those two guilds out of your hair a good chunk of the time, because now they are doing things in VP, they're doing things in Temple of Vishan, and so you don't have to deal with them going for things like Seb, CT, Trachanon, and other Veneral Sather type mobs. I mean, sure, they'll still be there, but it's not going to be top priority. They're not going to have the entire guild camped out at something if they're going after a TOV target. That will always be priority. Or at least it should be.
I think there's only been one Sev that BDA was there and waiting. I think the last one Asgard got, and it was
Yeah,
a good pull.
Asgard got that one.
Do we know if Asgard got a green scale?
They sure did.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
But grats Asgard. Those things are rare, man. I know warriors that would just drown puppies for a green scale. They've been
Yeah,
waiting.
I think I'm getting there.
Oh. I see.
Don't give her any puppies.
No.
Oh, I like puppies. I'm kidding.
But do
Probably.
you like them enough to not drown one for a green scale? Because I don't know what Twitch's TOS is, but we might be able to stream that.
Oh.
Totally not gonna drown a puppy.
I mean, I wouldn't
Yet.
actually stream
Ask
it.
me in 3 months.
All right. Then maybe I would actually stream it. Never mind. Doesn't matter. We all love puppies, just so everyone's clear. Nobody is actually suggesting anyone drown a puppy. There's no real puppy drowning trading allowed on P99. Samadsit? He has questions. He wants to know, are we getting the EXP changes for hybrids and groups in the next patch? I don't know. I do not know. I know it's in Velius, but I don't know exactly how far into Velius it happened.
As a player with no staff information, which I have none, reading Rogan's post, I interpret his post as he is adding it. It will be added in the next patch. Now, again, big asterisks. I'm not saying this as a staff member. I'm saying this strictly as like a player because I have no more information than a player on that. But I read his post, and the way I interpret it is it's coming.
I see.
So there you go. How about that?
So maybe Uber Bandit will start playing again because I have not seen him around in a long time. And he's my legal counsel when I'm speaking here. He prevents me from saying dumb shit. And let me tell you, I do say dumb shit sometimes. I know that might come as a surprise to everybody. But sometimes dumb things come out of my mouth. And I need somebody there to act as a filter to catch me, who knows me well enough to know by like the first 2 words what the rest of the words are going to be. And can just be like, no, you stop right there. And then I know, like, okay, that's not appropriate.
By the way, so yeah, here's the post. Like somebody linked it in from Rogan. He blatantly says we're overdue for the 2001 era on all servers. This will be happening this week or next weekend. So pretty plain right there.
A+. M Firelord says, how cryptic is the code base for Project 1999?
I think I answered him.
Is it extremely hard to reverse engineer? Here's the thing, buddy pal. You can go to www.eqemulator.com, maybe, if not .org, and you can download actually a better version than what Nilbog started with 6 years ago. But that's what he started with, was the stock EQEMU build. And so you can actually see what is started with and what needs to be done, and so on and so on. I feel like reverse engineering is the wrong way to describe it, though. It's really just removing things and adding things and creating things, but not so much reverse engineering. Because, I mean, I don't know. That word doesn't fit right in what I picture in my brain.
I don't know if everybody's in the Twitch chat, but there are all kinds of puppy emoticons going up now.
There's a lot
Oh,
of dogs, yeah.
I feel terrible.
Just so you know.
I'm not really going to drown any puppies. Not even a little bit.
TJ Mutt says that is not true with the current variants on raid targets. I have no idea what you're talking about because I'm a little bit behind on questions. So re-ask with context. Gamer Squad. Probably another hour-ish? Right about an hour. We'll see. Ghost, don't drown puppies.
I am not involved in this puppy thing.
So, but I will say to any guild people who are listening that have extra green scales, if you want to save a puppy, you could sell them to warriors that have been waiting the longest. You could probably make them do horribly embarrassing things in like the Freeport Arena for said green scale. Make them fight to the death with like a rock. Or a bone, because apparently you can beat people with thigh bones in EverQuest. Oh, yeah. That's a thing I learned today.
I gave Enviee a thigh bone before the stream.
That's what I heard.
It procs Yallop too. Come on, that's sweet as hell.
I feel that is appropriate. Alright, let's see. Is there another rating system similar to the class system that is on the drawing board, or is stuff working out okay at the moment? Says I quit my druid. I think stuff's working out okay at the moment. When you have different guilds competing for the same mobs at the same time in the same space, there's gonna be problems. It's never gonna be all sunshine and rainbows and unicorns, but I mean, for the most part, they work things out because it's in their best interest to work things out. No guild on the server wants to be raid suspended. Everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to have fun. Everybody wants to kill things. And there's ways to do that. Countries at war dropping bombs on actual human beings are able to still communicate back and forth. And so there's nothing that's going to happen in P99 that should prevent two guilds from being able to communicate back and forth. And
is there any situation where like lockouts might come back, or would that be like seriously something fucked up would have to happen?
I honestly don't think lockouts would be needed just because of the sheer amount of Velious content. Like, smaller guilds aren't going to be able to do Velious content.
No.
Like, it's just, these mobs are just too big. And I can't see the Velious capable guilds going after smaller targets on an earthquake. I mean, I guess if it started to become a problem, we'd look at it. But, like, right now, you have Forsaken, Rampage, BDA, and Taken are generally going to be in TOV if there's an earthquake, which leaves Divinity. God, I don't even know where guilds would go, but guilds like Divinity. I don't know if Indignation is still a thing. Anonymous, Europa, Azure Guard, Asgard. These guilds would then hopefully start funneling into places like Sebulus, Karner's Castle, Plane of Fear, and start dropping these mobs. These are not quick fights either, the Velious ones. It's not like Kunark shit where it's like, okay, we got our one, but now Forsaken killed 3 mobs and Rampage killed 3 mobs and everything's dead. I mean, you could literally scoop up multiple mobs in the time it takes to prep and down a Velious target.
Yeah, I mean, even the stuff we're killing, it's a whole new learning experience, so...
I mean, that's like, as long as it stays spread out enough to where, how do I say this without sounding like a dick?
Just say it.
We don't care if everybody gets an equal piece of pie, so long as everybody has the same opportunity of pie. Like, if you choose not to do mandatory bat phone and not to do mandatory TeamSpeak, you're just not going to get as much pie as people that are coordinating. Like, okay, I see the guy with the pie. He's bringing it out of the kitchen right now. Have everyone surround the table immediately. You bring plates, you bring forks. We're just gonna slice this bitch. There'll be no pie left. Let's just go. Hit it hard and fast.
I
And
don't think those people would be allowed in restaurants.
they are. They
They are
are.
not invited to
Those
my house,
people
I'll
keep
tell you that.
restaurants in business. Because you know why? They eat all the pie. But here's the thing. Like, that's the thing. Like, people kill the mobs. You know? Like, it doesn't matter if it's Europa, if it's Asgard, if it's BDA, if it's Rampage, if it's Taken, if it's Forsaken. It doesn't matter to us. Somebody's killing the mobs. And so
if
the
they're
pies...
flipping other people's tables and, like, pissing in their coffee to get to the pie.
Well, yeah, if you fucking flip over someone's table and ruin someone's pie, then yeah, you have to concede your piece of pie to them. And if it comes to me, I will make you concede 2 pieces of pie if you are, in fact, in the wrong.
The most important thing here, what kind of pie is it?
It's the exact same kind of pie that they ruined. The next time that pie comes up out of the oven, they don't get to do it. And if it comes to me, then they miss the next 2 times that pie comes out of the oven.
I really want some pie right now. I don't know about you guys.
Greengrocer missed an amazing stream.
I know, right?
Because he would be having a ball right now.
I know, where is he? He should be here with us. We're in Sirken waiting for him.
I don't know. I actually invited him, but he was like, things. And so I was like, alright.
I considered, before I knew Greengrocer was a thing, making stat food. Like, I even had a tagline. It's gonna be Clutterbuck pies. They're bucking good.
Oh, that's
Nice.
pretty good. You should you should talk to Greengrocer.
I could become a minion.
Be like, start selling my pies on your shelves.
This pie brought to you by Gridfire.
He'll make that shit sell, I'm telling you. He's got the market, you got the product. Bring
Yeah.
your shit together. I'm just
I
saying.
think he could use some competition, though. Really.
You can't compete with the
I
Greengrocer, are
don't
you
think I
kidding?
can compete with Greengrocer.
That kid spends all fucking day baking. All day. Are you ready to spend all day baking?
Oh,
Not
not
if
me,
somebody's
no.
just gonna come and steal my pie, which
Yeah.
is what I'm hearing here.
Well, luckily, guild leaders can work out and negotiate the return of pie. If the pie happens to get eaten before anybody knows who's at fault, there are situations like that detailed in the raid rules, and they follow those and they work that shit out amongst themselves. I know there's a couple raid petitions and the thing right now, like, oh, this guild's a giant piece of shit and they did all these horrible shitty things to me, motherfuck their faces now. And I'm just gonna and they're gonna be like, I've waited all week. He finally responded. What is it? What is it? And it's gonna be like, have you tried talking to the guild leader of the other guild? And they're gonna be so upset when that's all it says. But that's all it's going to say.
Oh, if that's what you say, I could probably just say
No,
that.
no,
Oh,
don't
okay.
deal with raid petitions.
All right.
I would just because that way, if something goes wrong, I know it's my fault. And I don't have to, like, eat shit from players because somebody else did something wrong. I eat more shit from players dealing with raid things than anything else. And I hate it the most when they're right. And so I try to avoid that as much as possible.
Serious pixels.
Yeah, speaking of players thinking they're right. Got a minute? You want to talk about Stormfeather? Because holy shit, did I caused a bit of a kerfuffle.
Yeah, there was actually a question in stream about that.
Oh, was there? Alright,
Yeah.
well then I'll just keep reading questions.
Well,
We'll get to it.
It didn't exactly say Stormfeather, but I knew exactly what the guy was asking. Actually, no, I think maybe it did. You
We'll
keep
get
your
to it.
questions.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it.
Saldio wants to know what drives you to continue being a GM while the red server exists. I pretty much just hate myself, and this is a pretty efficient way to punish myself. What about you, Braknar? Why do you continue to be on this here staff?
I'll be honest. Now, and I mean it's not a secret that I'm doing RMT stuff. I absolutely love tracking down these guys that think they're so clever, because they are so not.
Yeah, we're gonna do a PSA on RMT because
I knew we were gonna get to it. But
we're getting to it because I feel again it needs to be said because people just aren't listening.
Yeah, I think Evie's got it right. I'm drunk and mad with power. But no, it's absolutely funny because yeah, we'll get into it in the segment later. But that's part of what keeps me here. The other thing is just being involved with the project. Just because I like what they're doing. I like what Nilbog and Rogan have done with this thing. I just really like where it's at, and just trying to kind of give back to it, I guess.
Yeah. And you know what? I'll even ask you Europa people. You're not players, but why do you guys keep playing here? You've been here for like a year and a half, just about. What's the reason you keep logging in?
The people for me.
Mhm.
People.
Like I've definitely made probably some lifelong friends on the server, I would say. So
I think the social aspect is the biggest draw to EQ. Like, if you just come here and play by yourself and don't talk to anyone, this has got to be a shitty game.
Oh, it's horrible. Like the first week until I made friends, it was just awful. It's definitely the people.
Nice. All right. Well, next question. Sub-level B wants to know, what's the deal with Stormfeather FTE versus being an actual camp? Same as Latazol and marching orders and Scout Teresa. I'll tell you the deal. Stormfeather is a level 30 mob. That is not a raid target. It has never, in the history of EverQuest, ever been considered by anyone on any server at any time to be a raid target. The fact that a player tried to say it was an FTE/raid target is laughable. If EverQuest wasn't a computer game and we all were playing this in like a room, or even if it was, it could still be a computer game, but we're all playing it in the same room, I would have got up and walked over to you so that I could laugh in your face when you tried telling me it was an FTE raid mob. That was the dumbest shit I ever heard. It was in fact so off the wall retarded that I was convinced a player would not just make this up. Some staff member had to have said this. And so I went and I looked for staff members to make sure that no staff member had said anything this retarded. And then I went to Nilbog, and because I know Nilbog has camped Stormfeather because we have talked about this. And I asked him, just to make sure that I wasn't just fabricating memories in my brain. And he confirmed that I was not in fact retarded. And so I threw my dick on the table. And it needed to be done. And then people got real butthurt. And so, yeah, I don't know. They're like, well, this FTE message is a thing. The FTE message was done for quality of life for you nerds, so that, God forbid, the server comes up and 8 of you are camped there and you all just attack the damn thing. You know who actually has it. But don't worry, I have ensured that quality of life feature is going to be removed with the next patch, so you won't have to deal with that anymore. Don't KS each other, because I will suspend your accounts. But yeah, don't ever try to argue that Stormfeather is an FTE target. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Stormfeather, if you need a mob to compare it to Pain's Soul. That's probably the best example I can give you of how the staff sees it. But also, pretend that the Pain's Soul is level 30. So good question. I don't think we need to hear from anyone else on that one. Govs34, what is going on with the big fucking gun quest? Will it be put back in? I'm not dead.
Oh, I want to know this too.
So I don't know if it will be put back in. I have no idea. But I do know that at some point we'll do something to the people who lost their things. I just don't know what that thing is. I have a couple petitions about it, and I'm kind of just waiting to be told how to handle it. So if you have a petition in about the BFG and you're wondering why you're not getting a response, that's why. I just don't know what to tell you yet. You're not being ignored. I'm just waiting till I have a real answer for you.
Yeah, general rule of thumb just for everybody. If you have a staff name in the subject line of your forum petition, you're not being ignored. That is like a signifier that you are in that person's queue. You will not be lost. If it's the word flag, or if there's nobody, you have a chance of being lost. So just so you know. You
don't, if you have flag in your petition title at this point,
bump. Yeah.
You should probably bump. That's probably the only situation where you should bump. And you should just be like, hey, I heard maybe that this flag thing means I should bump. And so we will take care of that.
And I'll even say if there's no name in parentheses in the subject at all, and you haven't had a response in a week, feel free to bump once per week.
Yeah, because we tend to start at the end, the back end. And so when you guys needlessly bump shit, you're essentially bumping yourself to the back of the line. I have a guy who's like, I've been waiting 2 months. And it's like, well, you keep bumping. Like his original petition date, I think, was August 1st. And it's like, I'm caught up through August on everyone who hasn't been bumping. His last bump is September 9th. So he's going to be grouped in with the people that petitioned originally September 9th because they're not bumping. And that's the trick, guys. Stop bumping your shit. Diesel 0885 says, can you have staff help you with petition quest, specifically item reimbursement? No. No, I can't.
And we're even further behind on that lately, because I'm generally the one that like fronts those petitions for Sirken, and I know I've got about 5 pages that I need to go look at that I just haven't had time. I started a new job recently, and I'm doing the RMT investigations, and so just the Braknar time has dwindled.
Dwindled. But that's good, because it gave me some time to get caught up.
I know, right?
Oh my god, I like critically destroyed the petition queue like a week ago, and I felt so good. I took like 6 pages out, and I was like, I'm done. Fucking done.
Actually, I'll answer this real quick. I just see a question. Noctissa asks about IP exemptions. So here, let me be honest with you. So IP exemptions are the absolute lowest priority thing we do. I'm not going to beat around the bush. That's it. They are the lowest thing we do, lowest priority thing we do. We literally get about... how many use? I would say we probably get at least 10 a day, 10 requests a day. We just don't have the time or staff to really keep up with them right now. So I'm sorry to tell you, your IP exemptions are going to take a very long time at the moment. Just please, like I said, if there's no name in the title, you're in the same boat. If there's no name in the title, please bump once per week until there's a name in the title, and then do not bump.
Yeah.
We will try to get to you as quickly as we can.
We're trying, and you're right. Like, it sucks to say one issue is more important than another issue, but some issues just are more important.
Like reimbursements or like
RMT, third-party programs. Missing a corpse, you can't even play if your corpse is missing. Sometimes you got a group of people who are trying to get a guild started so they can all play together. Sometimes you have all kinds of things, and the IP exemption is kind of a very low priority thing, and it's not as easy as just being like, okay, we'll give you the exemption, here's everything you asked for. Like, we have to do little things to make sure you're not trying to pull a fast one on us, because while I know lots of you are playing EverQuest with your 3-year-old children and your dog and your fucking bird and your pet rock and all the other shit, we have people out there who legitimately try to flim-flam us so that they can 2-box. And I know that's hard for some of you guys to wrap your heads around, but let me tell you, it's a thing that happens. And so we can't just give them out all willy-nilly. Master Nook, last thing you said, the only thing that matters is the FTE message, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, with raid targets, nerd. I just told you, we added that for quality of life, and you guys got retarded, so we're taking it away. Are there any conditions when a first name can be changed? Like if they want to add or remove a single letter? Wistesso. Look, I'm saying your name wrong, but I gave it 3 good shots, so one of them's probably close. Generally, no, we don't change first names. That is not a thing we do. Unless your name has some kind of like vulgar word or some kind of horribleness in it, it does not. It doesn't get changed. And I imagine if you're like, your first name was fuck, and you were like, yeah, can I just like switch that U for a different letter? We probably wouldn't give it to you. So that's a thing. Muduberel. No, this is not live. This is the Project 1999 Classic EverQuest server. We actually do Classic EverQuest better than anyone else on the internet, And if you have any interest in classic EverQuest, you should head over to www.project1999.com because it has all the things you need to know to get started. It's free and easy, and it's absolutely probably the greatest thing on the internet. So, Braknar, there's a question for you. You already answered it, so you told him to bump it. Iron Victory says... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, although, Diesel, who I've been talking to in the chat, just rather, because I'm too damn lazy to type, so I thought I'd said if it didn't have a staff name, that petition that he just bumped has a staff name. So I am deleting his post, like we just talked about, because his bump now just moved his petition to the very bottom of your list.
Good job, buddy. You're doing it.
Just so he knows... I'm about to delete that post, so the original post goes back in the right place. Sirken will deal with it when he gets to it.
Oh no, it's Sirken stuff.
It is a Sirken thing.
Iron Victory says, Blue server looks boring as fuck. Are there any other servers that people without autism might enjoy? I don't know about that, but I know that everyone with extreme autism usually plays on the red server. They have a lot of fun there, sharing their life adventures. Nakaros, we're never adding Lucklin. How many people do you need to do Plate House? Osiris, I don't understand.
You should be able to do it with one good group. You're just not going to do it very fast. The more people, the more you plow through, the more drops you get.
I don't understand. What are you talking about?
Plate House?
Plate House.
What is that?
It's an
You don't know what that is?
It's
No.
an area of Kale
Oh.
that is,
Oh.
it's part of one of the ring quests, but a dwarf spawns, and if you kill him, a bunch of giants continue to spawn, and they only drop plate quest parts.
That's
Isn't that
a lot of
getting
fun.
fixed soon?
No, it's classic as hell.
So classic.
That shit went down all the time.
Alright, Yisko wants to know, will we have a Halloween event like live, like Big Undead, Dragon Wrath Mountains, or Dragon Ring, blah blah blah. I don't remember if we did a Halloween event last year.
I've seen rumblings that there's interest, but I don't know how far that's going to go. I would love to help, but
Well, yeah, I know there's talks about it, but I'm
Yeah.
saying last year. I don't
Oh.
remember if we had one or not.
I want to say something happened, but it could just be Envy got turned into a unicorn.
That is not at all.
Was that not Halloween?
I
No.
will say for sure, I was a staff last Halloween. This Halloween, though, I will guarantee that I'm going to be going out handing out illusions like crazy. Because, Halloween.
I know we did an event 2 years ago, and last year I think I was busy, and I wasn't around, and other staff were either busy or just didn't know what to do. I don't know. But yeah, if staff is here and available, we will absolutely. We like doing events. I mean, we like that shit. The only reason we don't is because we don't have time.
Yeah.
But if we have time, I mean, we'd love to give you guys a Halloween event. Oh, Chris Fire says, you said a while back that P99 Orange PvP teams, I don't know why it's P99 Orange, but whatever, is
I like the color theme.
no longer going to happen. I never said teams was never going to happen. I've never said that at all. I'm a huge advocate of a team server, and I will never let that die. But, to continue, does that mean Blue would be the next new server? Is there anything I can do to make this happen sooner? Alright, time out. Time out, sir. You need to go to www.project1999.com. You need to read our front page. We just announced our... Wait, hold on. Let me go there. Let me see exactly what is being said before I'm like, yeah, no, go here. This is a thing that we're saying is a thing. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we already announced. We're releasing a new temporary server. It is the Project 1999 Discord server. You can read all about it on the front page of the forums. I promise more information will be coming within a week, maybe, so stay tuned. If I talk about it here, follow button. That's how you'll know, because I'll turn this stream on, and then it will be like, hey, Sirken's about to say words, and then you can come here and hear all of those words. But yeah, that's our plans for our newest server. It's going to be a Discord server, and you should just stay tuned. I don't know what I'm allowed to say about it right now, so I can't really say anything else other than it exists. And I will never stop trying to push for a team server. And blue server, I really wouldn't even think about until Valius has been out for a while, because that's the main focus right now. Laris says, pretty sure if a quake happened right now, it'd be a good 5-6 hours of raiding, hoping Rogan will give us some. Well, Rogan would love to give you some, but I don't know if you're going to get an earthquake tonight. Saldio says, I hear you asking your guests regularly. That's not how you say that. What brought them to the server? But I don't know that I've heard you answer that question.
Oh,
Ooh.
he is absolutely right.
He's asking the tough ones. So, back in the day, before P99 was a thing, I was on the VZTZ server, the Valenzex/Talonzex server. It was a pretty popular emu server back before P99 came and crushed everything. And it was the most popular PvP server. It allowed 2-boxing, and it had population maxed out around 300, 330. And I was a GM there. I was the GM there. And so I didn't play there. GMs weren't allowed to play on VZTZ, just like they're not allowed to play here. And I used to play here while I GM'd over there. And I liked it. It was classic. It was EverQuest. Nobody knew me here. I could just fuck around on my gnome and have a lot of fun. And so that's what brought me here. Originally, actually, they made claims that they fixed all these things and you couldn't cheat. And so I fired up MQ2 and found a pathing exploit and was like, you can run MQ2 and there's pathing exploits. So that was the first reason I came to P99. But then I started playing for real. And then VZTZ shut down. Nobog had played on VZTZ, so he knew I existed in the world. We exchanged some words. I was told to put in an app. I put in an app. And October will be 4 years. Good question. I hope I answered it very thoroughly. I tried to give you a real answer. Oh man, I have a question for Envy, but I'm not sure if I'm supposed to ask it for real or not. I don't know. Hedvig, if you ask that in legit chat, I'll ask it on stream, but I don't know if I should ask it if it's being whispered.
We know Hedvig.
I see. Alright. Alaris wants to know, is it okay to concede a raid mob for 1 hour if someone has trained 2 to 3 other guilds? Happened a week ago on Fraps, just saying. It's okay. Look, I don't care, like, how it affects... I guess I do care how it affects people. Don't let me say that. If someone does something wrong and they try to make it right, then that's what you should all want, is a sincere attempt and effort to make it right. You shouldn't demand a pound of flesh over every little instance, because at some point the shoe's going to be on the other foot, and you're not going to want to be treated the way you're treating other people. I mean, yeah, it sucks. If you mess up and it affects 2 to 3 other guilds, that sucks. And it sucks more than if you only affect 1 other guild. But at the end of the day, you're still training, and training is training. Try to make right. Your guild is bowing out of the encounter. So if 3 guilds are affected, yes, they still have to compete against themselves, but they won't be competing against the guild that messed up, and I think that's fair. Nobody's just going to give you a piece of pie. I told you, you have to coordinate around the table.
And something I wanted to kind of add to that is, and I've seen an uptick in this lately, so I wanted to mention, don't ask us what we did to that other guild anytime. Don't come to us and say, well, I reported Guild A and I can see nothing was ever done to them, so you need to do something to them and you need to tell me what you did to them. Well, we don't do that. We don't, I'll say the only occasion I've ever discussed what something has happened to somebody else, to a third party, is when I have an unusually large amount of RMT bans in a given guild. Then often I'll go to the guild leadership and say, hey guys, what's going on? And beyond that, we don't discuss with third parties what we do with people.
Yep. That's why a lot of petitions simply get a, I'll look into it. And It's because I can't tell you what I do about it. I'm gonna try to speed round some of these because I'm very behind, I'm realizing, and we only have so much time left. I know I want to answer some Europa questions, but real quick, is it okay to concede? Blah blah blah. I already got that. Diesel, you say a guild intentionally trained Poop Mountain a week ago. They conceded for an hour. If you guys agreed to that, you guys agreed to that. But I know where that's coming from. That's a TOV specific rule, and the hour thing only applies because of how long it takes to prep and kill a TOV dragon. That is not a Trakanon worldwide rule. That's a TOV only thing. So whoever told you that, you got swindled, sir. Speeding down. Do you know what's going to happen with the BFG quest? Nope. I know that it will be better than it is now. Is that Red Jams? I think that was Red Jams. Hi, Red Jams. I'm sorry I don't have a better answer for you. It's more of a dev thing, and I'm just not a dev. TJ Mutz wants to know, what if a group of level 30s is racing the FTE Stormfeather? Those level 30s are going to get killed by who are going to get suspended because somebody's probably sitting there camping it. Sirken, could you explain to us with an MS painting drawing? Oh my god, I wish I could. If we were a little bit earlier in the stream, Dragon, I promise. Remind me next week, and I promise you, I will try to find some excuse to bust out MS Paint. We might do, like, Pictionary with MS Paint next week. Jeff Squats Bridges, I feel like I've tried to get Swish on in the past. Maybe I'm wrong. I sent Red Jams a private message, so hopefully he's interested and we can set something up. I'd love to have them both on.
Oh, I'd love to see Swish on.
I would watch Swish. Come on, Swish.
They're both good people. I'd love
He's
to have
pretty
them both
shy.
on. Diesel says you must have a very small table. I don't even think I have a table. I have a dining room table.
That was in reference to
Is he
putting
talking?
your dick on the table.
Oh, god damn it.
Yep.
I know. Yeah.
Do you even live? No, of course not. I eat fruit snacks and play video games. This is a whisper. Can you watch this after stream? I'm imagining that's perhaps to a raid petition. Are you going to patch the mob ghosting issue soon? I hope so. How long does an IP exemption take? Been almost a month and have not bumped. You should bump once a month, but you should also go to youtube.com/SirkenP99 because we absolutely address that. You can catch the video of this stream probably Wednesday morning, maybe tomorrow, but it'll have the answer that you seek. Osiris wants to know, why did it take you a year to give back my friend's fungi? I would have to know way more about the situation because I find it extremely hard to believe that anybody waited a year for anything. Because we don't take that. I know we're slow, but we're not that slow. Come on. Yiska says, is P99 looking to expand its staff crew? Yes. www.project1999.com. Go there. Forms. We have a subsection called Guide Application. And
I would link that into him.
You can put it in chat. And you can go there. You can fill out an application. Actually fill out the application.
God damn it.
And,
God's sake.
There's a template. Just fucking use it. So yes, and be very thorough. Do not think you're saving us time or getting yourself points by putting short answers. We want long, detailed, thought out answers that you actually give a shit about. Hey guys, did Sirken touch on this upcoming patch? No. I basically said that I don't know. Goss Poo Poo says there are some pretty offensive names unread. You're right. Scrolling down. It's where you were in KD when the stream started. Oh, sorry. You see my Packers put on your Bears. Don't care about that. Why are Velius textures forces? Gosh, I think he means force. And because shit's classic, he did mean force. Stream just started? No. Scrolling. What's the minimum amount of time a guild can concede without receiving suspension? In TOV, I think it's 1 hour. I'd have to double check with them because they're the ones who agreed to it. They're the ones who came up with it. I was just there as a mediator to make sure that shit didn't get out of hand. And so that when they did agree to something, I would have the logs and be able to check it. No, if you cannot train a guild for a minute, concede and try again, whatever. I'm not sure if you... Azor Guard says. I'm pretty sure we did answer that. You should watch the video. But the short answer is yes, Azorgard P99. We are removing the hybrid things. It's overdue, and it will be happening. Is the best coming? Is best of the best? Yes, Swish. We're gonna let Velius be its thing for a while. Make sure all the important shit is taken care of. But you should absolutely expect a round of best of the best. But before that, here, I'll give you guys some exclusive insider information. You might expect a certain 6-on-6 tournament known as the Test of Tactics before the best of the best round 2 starts up. So get your teams ready, because that is something I do want to do. Any progress on requiring the Trilogy client instead of Titanium? I don't think anyone's working on that, West Tesso. And I'm all caught up on questions. So I will say, thanks for the questions. Probably not going to have time to answer any more of those, except for this one that just came in now while I was talking. Red Jam says, are the devs aware of mob ghosting? It's been going on the last few months. I don't know. I don't check the bug forum. But I'm pretty sure it's public, so you can actually check and see if it's in there. And if it's not in there, you should make a bug report. So Europa guild members of Europa. Hello there.
Hi.
Hi.
I just did a speed round of chat questions.
It was good.
It was.
I'm imagining they don't like speed round because
No, it
they
was lovely.
They want lots of attention on their question. But do you guys have questions by chance from yourselves or maybe your guild? I mean, you are the guest, so I feel if you have questions, we should take those.
I don't know that I have. I think I've mentioned the few things I was going to.
Did anyone in your guild be like, hey, well, you're on stream, you should fucking tell him this or ask him this or blah,
Yeah, no,
blah.
we do, but they're all really silly things.
I put a thread up, but it tended to be like, when is the cured silk woo stuff coming in? I'm like, guys, I know.
All right, well, I could probably do them real quick then. Rattle them off. Give them to me. I want all of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Okay.
She got all the serious questions, and I was told to say different things that I'm not going to say.
It's like, all right, if he starts to get mad, then you ask the less serious ones. That's our plan. That's our strategic approach.
Slow zoning came up. It needs fixing, apparently.
Okay, get better internet. Done. And an SSD.
Europe.
Done. All right, next.
Europe.
Demand Lucklin.
Never gonna happen.
Ain't
Next.
gonna happen.
They want raid-wide bard songs in Halls of Testing, please.
Raid-wide bard songs.
Yeah.
Probably
didn't see
also
that one.
never gonna happen. Okay.
Raid buffs, yeah. Please advertise for boyswholikeBoys.com. This is an inside joke in the guild.
All right. They should. Oh man, I need sponsors. All right, next.
Let's see. A lot of +1s going on there. A big thank you for the excellent server you guys have provided. We had a few people.
We love our players. I might break your guys' balls a lot as a player base, and I might sometimes just lose my mind at you all, but it comes from a place of love. It's like watching your kid do something stupid and you have to scream at him because you cannot believe he just ran blindly out into the middle of the street after that ball. And so, you know, it's like, yeah, he doesn't like being screamed at, and yeah, it makes him feel like shit, and yeah, you probably didn't have to. But it comes from a good place. And so that's a thing. And also, really, it's Rogan and Nilbog that are the reason this thing exists. Me and Braknar and Morgan and Aussie, we're just like the front line keeping all you nerds away from Rogan and Nilbog so that they can keep pumping this shit out and making it good and making it work. And so that's what we do. Next.
Are there any thoughts on ending the clicking contest in Western Weights for Scout Charissa?
I am not even going to answer that.
Yeah.
Next.
Velius Armor Helmet Graphics.
It's very sexy. Next.
Oh, hold on. I want to comment back on Scotland.
Oh, go ahead.
real quick. Like I know I've actually dealt with a few petitions where someone was like, "That guy's using Macro Quest. He got it before me." Well, the thing is, you can line up the window such that the OK button ends up being right on top of the NPC. So you quite literally just tap your mouse button, and it'll very much appear like somebody has some sort of a program going. I think is that the NPC I'm thinking about? Does that sound about right?
There has been some conversation lately about how a couple people have done hand-ins so insanely fast when it spawns that there must be something going on.
We looked at, like, literally they may be doing something, maybe not, but they also could very easily just be dragging that window so that it's positioned just right and literally just spam clicking.
A+, next.
Why are gnomes so ugly?
Gnomes are the best thing.
Not true.
Gnomes are the
They're
best
so
thing
cute.
that's ever happened to Norath. Ever. And if it wasn't for the gnomish race, this game would have never taken off past fucking anything. And Quanos would never know what time it is. Next.
Enviee can have like 3 gnomes in her lap at a time. They are so cute.
Halfling superiority, I'm sorry.
Nope.
No, halflings are gonna have like bugs and dirt and shit growing in their foot hairs. You don't want that. That's not supremacy.
The women do not have foot hair, thank you.
They do
have giant toenails.
Whatever.
That is also true.
No. Halflings are just like, look, halflings are like watered down versions.
I have stabby things.
Halflings are great.
They are
I'm like
great.
surrounded by 3 halflings right now.
Let's go next.
Alright, Blue Diamond combines.
Should be soon. Next.
Alright. Muffin or barm cake?
Muffin? I don't know what the other one is.
It's like a fruit cake.
No.
Fine.
Next.
No. Tea and crumpets? Yes, no.
I don't know what crumpets are.
They're
Just
kind
say
of
yes.
like an English muffin. Like, that's a really bad comparison, but
Why wouldn't you just call it an English muffin, especially if
it's
you're
not
in...
an English muffin, it's just like an English
Alright, well then call it a French muffin, or wherever the fuck you are, an Irish muffin. It doesn't even matter. I'm gonna call mine an American muffin, and we're all gonna be happy. Next.
That is the end of my question.
End of the questions. Alright, Braknar, you've got as much as almost 20 minutes to launch a public service announcement denouncing one of the most heinous acts that transpire on this here Project 1999 Classic EverQuest server.
Sure. So yeah, I've been
You've been busy.
I've been busy, man. Yeah, I've been about ass deep in RMT. So much so that I feel like there's a hit put out on me. You saw that, right?
I saw the post.
There is a post on Red Guides. The Red Bot has asked.
Let me just say real quick, I don't do RMT stuff, so don't target me.
You asshole. He has offered real money for somebody that can provide GM IPs, and that sounds so I feel like a hit has been put out on me. Although what he doesn't, the thing is, for what it's worth, in real life, I work in IT, so I'm well aware of how easy it is for me to change my IP if I want. So I kind of want to message him my IP as just a throwaway account, take his money, and then change my IP. Just because that would be funny. But at any rate, so other than that, I've been busy. I've been hard at work with the RMT stuff. The thing to mention is, and I think I've said this before, absolutely everything is logged. There is no possible way you can get an item or coin from one player to another without it being logged. Period. There is absolutely no way to do it. You may think you've gotten away with it. I've just recently went through a wave. I dug up an old RMTer account from back in like April of this year, and I'm going through banning people from April. And a couple of them got really upset because they RMT'd when those accounts were, new. They had like level 5s or whatever. Now they've got like 2 or 3 level 60s, and they just lost 2 or 3 level 60s. And I'm like, sorry, you RMT'd. Oh, can I move the characters to another account? I put so much time and effort into this character. No, man, you RMT'd. So that's the thing. Logs are forever. literally are forever. We have the same logs now from when this server launched. Logs are forever. We absolutely have every log we've ever created in this server still. So that being said, yeah, don't RMT. It doesn't even matter. I've caught guys, that they'll try to delete characters. Deleted characters are still logged. Logs are still there. Logs don't go away when your character's deleted. They try just do all these other funny things to make it so that, like, mask. The funny thing is, the more people try to hide their actions, the more I'm motivated to find them. Because I've already spent 10 minutes going down this rabbit hole, and I'm going to see it through. And I had one just the other day that's just like he went and passed through like 5 different accounts or something silly. And I still got to the end. I still banned him. He came to the forums the next day. Was like, "Why am I banned?" And I told him, just because you passed it through 4 or 5 accounts doesn't mean we can't see it. You're banned for RMT. And he hasn't replied since. I mean, I don't know how many more times we can say it. Don't do it. And I even put like Sirken's quote. I don't know how many people actually look at my forum account or if it get forum messages or PMs from me, but I actually even put a quote from Sirken from one of the other streams about like RMT. Someone actually replied thinking it was me telling it to them. But at any rate, yeah, the quote is, I'm going to repeat it because I think it's great. He says, for the buyers, you're even worse. A, you're keeping these people in business. They wouldn't be able to be RMTers if people weren't buying their shit from them. And B, you're a dumb asshole. I'll tell you why you're a dumb asshole. You're spending real life money on shit we're just going to take away from you. You can literally set that money on fire and it would be better spent because at least you wouldn't lose anything. And he's right. I mean, the only losers in RMT are the guys that are buying from the RMT sellers, because those sellers walk away with your money. They don't care if you get banned. They got your money. So that's my RMT rant for this week. Unless you had anything, you wanted me to say anything else about RMT.
No, I don't understand the mindset. I've seen actual threads from people where it's like, well, I just got fucking banned for RMT, so I'm looking to buy another account.
Yeah,
and it's like, are you mentally retarded? Like, you literally just got banned for doing this. Why on earth, A, are you doing it again? But B, why do you think we won't just ban you again?
I mean, it's no secret. We watch Red Guides. We would be friggin' stupid if we didn't. And I even saw like some guy and it kind of made me snicker. Where some guy was like, guy, what was he was like, oh, that just cost me $700. I'm just thinking, you just fucking spent $700. And I know, in fact, because I looked at this guy's post history, he literally had just bought stuff like 3 days prior. It just so happened. I'm good, but I'm not that good. I'm not going to come around and, Alaris, people know that site. It's not a secret. In fact, it's just like I said, we're watching it. So go ahead, go there.
That's a lot of money to spend on pistols.
It is. I mean, I felt a little bad for the guy, but I mean, so at any rate, yeah, things happen. Don't do them. Don't be a dummy.
Don't do dumb shit. That's the moral of the story. We don't want to ban you, especially for dumb shit. We want people to play here. We are honestly flattered and humbled by the amount of people. Maybe not humbled so much, but definitely flattered by the amount of people that play here. And we don't like banning people. I mean, if you're a piece of shit and you're just existing to ruin other people's playtime here, then yeah, we don't want you here and we're going to remove your ability to play here. But if you're just want to have fun, I understand what it's like to have more money than time. And I mean, I play other games and I know in Hearthstone I fucking spend a ton of money. And I know if I was playing a game where RMT was allowed, I'd probably drop some money on money because I have more money than time. And it's just easier and I can start playing better and whatever. But it's not allowed here. In games where it's not allowed, I'm not going to do it because every second I play that account or that character after I RMT, I'm sitting there like, is all this time for nothing? Am I going to get banned? Is it just like a countdown on when I get fucking terminated now? Like, I would never do that shit because I would never be able to enjoy playing here. And if I did get caught, I wouldn't go throw more money away on the same fucking thing. That's stupid. That's like smashing a hammer into your leg and being like, oh, that fucking hurts. I'm gonna do it again and see if it hurts again. Like, you already did the science once. You have enough data to conclusively conclude that that's a bad fucking idea and it's not going to end well for you. You don't need to try it a second or third or fourth time. You can take my word for it. I'm very rarely wrong. I'm right like 87% of the time. So, yeah. And also, I know this is shitty, but because it's gonna fuck over a lot of innocent people who play by themselves. But protect yourselves, too. Stop doing transfers for people you don't know. I know for a fact there are RMT sellers who will find someone sitting in EC and be like, hey, can you help me transfer items to my other character? And you'll be like, I'm a great person. I would love to help you do that. And then they're like, okay, my other character's name is Braknar. And then you're like, okay. And then Braknar runs up and goes, hi, I'm here. And then you give Braknar the items. And you know what you did? You just helped facilitate an RMT transaction. The seller gave you the items and you gave them to the buyer, and you made it so that there's no actual link from seller to buyer. Luckily, we're smart and we can see these things. But those people do get banned, and they have to petition, and they have to go through the whole red tape hoop jumping process to get their accounts back. It's not pleasant for them, it's not pleasant for us, and it's 100% avoidable. And as shitty as it is, I would say stop doing transfers for people you don't know, because there's a decent chance you're doing something RMT related.
And don't just accept 20k plat when some idiot hands it to you in the EC tunnel. Because the RMTers also really like to, and they'll legitimately. I mean, again, I'm just believing words from someone on the internet, but I legitimately believe sometimes these guys are, or at least they feel they're innocent, whereby they think that someone just came and handed them 20,000 plat, and I hate
because that happens.
It does, and and I'm a gamer, and I fully understand gaming and reality are two entirely different things, but I do try to make the real life analogy that, say your friend just robs a bank and he goes and gives you $4 million. You don't report it. You don't ask questions. You just go along with your life. Like, now, if someone were to hand you 20,000 plat and you instantly come to the forums and are like, what the fuck here, GMs? Someone just handed me 20k plat. What's up with this? We're probably not going to do anything to you. Maybe, maybe not. Hard to say. I mean, because we have other information we can see, and if someone's going to start doing that to like cover their legitimate RMT, well, we can also, there's other things we can see and see what's going on. Like, for instance, if some like, we can look at account history, account links, and like all of a sudden we see that like this guy who's well established, level 60, oh, somebody just handed me 100,000 plat in EC. Well, you're probably not being above board on that. So anyway, we take all this stuff into account. My point is, if you are handed a lot of coin, either don't accept it, or don't accept it and then report it. That's actually your best bet, because that's going to that's going to endear you to us, that you were actually trying to be an upstanding member of the community, instead of just accepting this random 20,000 plat or 30,000 plat in EC tunnel.
I just had a question in guild chat pop up. Actually, would you consider a shared bank slot as a way to take care of some of that? Because nobody's going to be like, oh, would you...
If we did, it would be something that we discussed when we were talking about custom content ideas.
Okay.
I mean, I'd say under the custom content umbrella, nothing other than Lucklin as an expansion is ruled out completely. But
well, it wouldn't help like separate actual accounts. It would just, I would only help on the same account. But yeah,
right. It would be one of those quality of life things, and the only reason not to have it is that it's not classic. But I know that like when we are talking about custom ideas, more or less everything is at least open for discussion, and so I know that if enough people showed interest in it, and we thought it would be something that a lot of people would really like having, I wouldn't say it'd be completely impossible to acquire a shared bank slot down the road, of course.
All right.
So that's my thing. Thorny Mofo said something about money in game. I think someone else did too. There has been talks about in-game gambling. I don't want to get into too specific of specifics, but I know Nilbog has tossed some ideas around about things that are possible to do. It's just kind of everything got put on the back burner with Velius, and now we're just kind of starting to pick things up again, different things, and deciding what we're going to do first and what's important, and still make sure that the bug reports from Velius are being worked on. But now finally we can start working on other things, i.e. the server that Rogan announced on our front page at www.project1999.com. Forcing Velius textures in classic, so stop that shit. Unfortunately, Shamufaka, there were a lot of people on Red server doing things they should not have been doing, and so we had to make certain things mandatory and add checks for them, and I'm pretty sure that's why the fucking Velius textures are forced.
Wow, now I'm trying to figure out what they could have done that would have required forcing Velius textures.
Go peruse the Red forums. There's screenshots and fucking threads, and you'll see. Let's see. 4-inch PVC pipe actually asks how things are going if I've talked to Uthgard recently. Actually, someone claiming to be Uthgard sent me a tell in game recently, and I was gonna look into that, but then I just absolutely forgot. Me and Uthgard have never really talked, ever. I told him to tone his shit down on the forums one time, because he was getting kind of, I think ballsy is probably the most appropriate word for those who remember, and it needed to stop. But, I might try to get Uthgard on stream. That could be interesting. He might be a crazy person. He's I don't know. I have mixed feelings. I know a lot of people like him. A lot of people don't like him. I have mixed feelings because I know some of the things that players don't know, and I had to deal with a lot of mess that may or may not have been caused by him, and so I don't know. My opinion is skewed. But
I've never met him, so if I'm on stream, I could like cancel it out.
I mean,
I know I've been compared to him in some regard, but
oh, you don't want that, by the way, because that's basically calling you irrational and unable to admit mistakes and egotistical and someone who thinks he's you don't want that.
Right.
So
I'll also mention, like, if anyone knows who I don't remember the full name, like Diesel too, like somebody did a whisper to me, and I saw it for a flitter for a second, but then I did something dumb with my browser, so it's gone. So if someone did a whisper to me somewhat recently, it was actually about RMT, and I very, very briefly glanced at it, so I don't even remember exactly what it said. So, at any rate, if they're still on the stream, whisper me again.
I think it was Diesel0885.
That I think is about right.
I'm pretty sure that's the name. If it was
I don't remember
Diesel.
what he said.
Olaris, not worth discussing. That's my thoughts.
I didn't see what it was. That guy.
And on that note, I think we're gonna wrap it up. So, yeah, Irish O. I'm done with your name, so I'm just gonna call you different things that will let you know I'm speaking to you.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks for coming on stream this evening. Say goodbye to these fabulous people and tell them where to go for all their European EverQuest adventures.
Well, thanks for having us. This was a good time. The website again is www.luckland.de, and it is basically just a big forum. So go put an app in
And as we learned tonight, you don't even have to be European.
No, you don't.
I'm almost
This
convinced.
is where all the ladies are, so you should definitely come join us.
We have a lot of women, actually. You basically have to not be an asshole.
That is exactly our guild requirements. Thank you.
Please do not be an asshole. Welcome to Europa.
Alright, so the pool of possible players just got a lot smaller, but A+. Yeah, and thanks for coming on. Enviee, thank you for coming on too. Say goodbye to these people.
Bye, guys. Thanks for having me.
We're all very happy you guys came on. It's like I said before, it was a long, I'm surprised we didn't actually even talk about this, but it's been a long back and forth thing trying to get Europa on stream, and then the person that we were trying to set it up with ended up quitting, so it kind of fell through, and then...
She's coming back, actually.
Well, she
would
missed
be
stream.
so happy to be on stream, actually.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to get you guys back, and you can bring her too, and then she can say
Do
she
the
did
ladies
it.
of Europa.
There you go. There's... Oh, Braknar.
Yo.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Good job, buddy. Good job. That was the worst goodbye ever. Oh.
Yeah. Goodbye, folks. But yeah, if you don't have to talk to me in game, if you ever get a tell from me that's like, hey pal, let's chat, usually not going to be a good chat for you.
Dun dun dun. Alright, guess what? I'm putting you guys on hold. Yeah, I'm Sirken. Thank you guys for watching and hanging out, and I hope we answered most of your questions, but if we didn't, I'm sorry. This will be up on the YouTube at youtube.com/SirkenP99. You can go there, you can watch the old stuff, and if you miss this stuff, things. You can also ask your question there. I check those things, I'll answer your stuff. What else? Monday nights, probably 9 p.m. Eastern, maybe 10, I don't know. Come at 9, check back at 10. We'll see what happens. I'm trying so hard, but new work schedule is just kicking my ass so horribly. I have candy at work, that helps, but it's just rough. It's very rough. If you don't know what this is, it's Classic EverQuest. www.project1999.com. We do it better than anyone else on the internet, so go there, check it out. It's 100% free forever and ever and ever. And, yeah, I love all of you guys that are here hanging out, and I hate everyone who's not. And that's the end. Have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.